YouTube, what's going on? Appreciate y'all watching my videos. What's going on? What's going on? Wait till some people get in here. What's going on? I was able to get a spot. I'm in an area with a good cell phone service, and I can do a good live. I feel comfortable at doing this live. What's going on? Trucking Fisher, what's going on? But I wanted to talk about this load I had the other day. It's called How to Chokehold a Broker. I had the chokehold on the broker. I was like, give me some more money. God damn it. Give me some more damn money. You know you got more money on this load. Give me some more money. I put the chokehold on the broker. Yeah, man, you know. You gotta do your thing. Trying to wait for some more people to get in here. All right, we got about 10, 11 people in here. So, yeah, so I had this load picking up in Atlanta, right? I picked the load up in Atlanta Monday morning. I jumped on the load board, looked for some loads because I know, right at the house, I gotta get a banging load at the house, like right off the rip. I gotta get a banging load right at the house, and then after that, I can just take my time during the week. I can just, if I get a banging load at the house, cool. And so I found a load going down to Florida for $1,600. Called the broker, negotiated the price on the load. I got it for $1,600. Okay. They was trying to give me the load for, I think, like 12 or 1,300. I was like, I was telling the broker, I was like, I know you guys need somebody to run this load. You need somebody to run this load. I'm on the phone with you now. Just go ahead and pay me the $1,600, and then I can shoot over there and pick the load up. Because this particular broker, I was already set up with him, so I didn't have to I didn't have to fill out a new carrier packet or nothing with him or nothing. So it just makes the process that much easier. So they sent me to Raycon. I got my stuff together. I had about an hour and a half to go get the load. It's like 8 o'clock in the morning. I think it had like a 10:30 appointment or something like that. I had to rush. I had to get my clothes together and get on at the house and kiss the wife. All right, see you later. Had to rush, get to the truck, throw my stuff in the truck, and rush over there and pick up the load. Went over there, picked up the load, no problem. It was like 2 other trucks over there. They put me to a door. It took them like 15, 20 minutes to load the freight up. I was like, yes, this is what I'm talking about. Throw the freight on the truck. Let's go. Throw the freight on the truck. Shoot. So I got the load. We running down now. So the load delivers, according to the Raycon, it's got appointment on there for 6 o'clock Tuesday morning. I picked the load up on Monday. 600 miles. Got to get down to Florida. All right, we running. We were going down to Florida. We riding, right? You know, and all right, I'm gonna stay away from these comments. I'm gonna get distracted. So I get down there, get down there. You know, 6 o'clock appointment. It's like 2 or 3 trucks. And this area is down in like Miami, Florida, like on the west side of Miami, Florida, industrial area, a bunch of warehouses and stuff. I get in there. Um, this particular customer, the receiver, uh, has his own little private drive. So it's a long private drive. So there were 3, 4 trucks lined up to the gate. So because they allow you to check in about 5 o'clock, 5:30 or so. And I got a 6 o'clock appointment. There were 2, 3 other trucks ahead of me. So I just get in line, go to bed, you know, do the sleeping thing, do the sleeping thing. So I wake up in the morning, somebody banging on my truck. Hey man, what's your appointment? 6 o'clock, man. All right. He wrote down, he got my bills, he looked at it, he took my information off the paperwork. And so once it's my turn to check in at the guard shack right here, he told me, he was looking at the computer, he's like, man, it was a Spanish guy. It was a Spanish guy. I'm on 16 headed to Savannah. I guess Savannah. Oh, okay, yeah, man. It's plenty of freight to come out of Savannah. You got to be quick on the draw. You got to be quick on the draw. Savannah is an interesting spot. It's a lot of freight that comes out of Savannah, but at the same time, it's a lot of trucks in Savannah. So it's really competitive. Them loads don't sit on the load board that long. And, there have been times where I run loads from Atlanta to Savannah for 500, and then from Savannah back to Atlanta for another 500, all in the same day. Sometimes you just get lucky. Them loads line up like that. But so the shipping receiving guy, he was like, man, he's got like a Spanish accent, Latino accent. Papi, your appointment, Papi, your appointment is tomorrow. Your appointment tomorrow, 6 a.m. I'm like, tomorrow, 6 o'clock? Nah, man. They told me to be here today, this morning, Tuesday, at 6 o'clock. Your appointment tomorrow, man. You have to go and turn around. I can't. You holding my line, man. You have to. Your appointment. You come back tomorrow. We'll take care of you. Come back tomorrow. I'm like, man, I got a load book. Right after this load. So once I deliver this load to get this freight off my truck, I gotta go pick up my other load. I had everything all straightened out. I had my loads straightened out. I had loads booked to Wednesday. And so, long story short, I had to cancel all those loads. So I had to call the broker. And tell them, I had to call the brokers on those other loads and cancel those loads. And I had to call the broker and tell them that they made a mistake. They made a mistake on an appointment time. And so I was telling the lady, I was like, typically in situations like this, I usually just go ahead and just take the freight back to the shipper because, this isn't how we do business, somebody dropped the ball somewhere and folk wasn't notified. And when you doing business, you can't do that. You can't do that. You can't do that. And so I told the lady, I was like, look, I'm just gonna go ahead and take the freight back to the ship. I can't sit down here all day for 1,600. Um, I can't sit down here all day. She's like, hold on, don't take the freight back. Hold on, let me figure something out here because there's something going on. Let me get back to you. Maybe we can get you in there today. Uh, Maybe we can get you another appointment sometime today. I was like, well, I mean, I'm gonna give y'all about an hour to figure this out, and then I'm gonna be heading on. I'm gonna be heading back to the receiver with this load, so y'all can take this stuff off my truck. I can't do this. So we got off the phone. I got off the phone with the broker, and she called me right back. She was like, look, we're not able to get you a new appointment for the day. Somebody dropped the ball somewhere, and the shipper and I are trying to figure something out. What we can do is pay you $200 layover. I was like, $200 layover. $200 layover. Oh man. I was like, no, ma'am, I can't accept that. That's under these conditions, because I had another load coming out of Florida that was paying $600 to come out of Florida. And I told the lady, I was like, look, I try to run my truck at $1,000 a day. And so we obviously not going to do that right now because this load is still on my truck. I have the freight. I can't go nowhere. But at this point, we're all going to lose here. You're going to lose. The customer's going to lose. I'm going to lose. So I'm just going to take the freight back to the shipper and y'all can figure out, get another appointment date. She was like, hold on. What can we do to make this right? I was like, well, if you can at least meet me close to the load that I had booked coming out of Florida, going back north, I would stay here and wait on that. It's not the best thing because I'm still losing money, but if you guys can meet me at about 500, I'll do that. If you can meet me at about 500, I'll do that. She was like, well, our layover is 200. I know that, but under these conditions, the previous agreement showed that the appointment was for today. So we're going to have to rework that agreement and come up with a new agreement that will satisfy this load. And so she was like, okay, let me talk with the customer and see if we can get you 500. So she hung up the phone. She called me back. Maybe about 5-10 minutes later, she called me back. She was like, okay, the shipper and I negotiated to give you $500 extra. I'm sending you a new Raycon for the 1,600 plus the 500, and that is. And she asked me, "Is that okay? Is that okay?" She was like, "Okay." I was like, "Okay." I'll sit down here and fumble my thumbs for a whole day, and you know, and wait for tomorrow to deliver the load. And so, I mean, it wasn't too bad because the area is industrial areas, bunch of warehouses over there. So it was no problem with me parking in the area. So it was no problem me parking. So everything was cool. But they pay more, Poppy. They pay more. Yeah, that guy, he's a Cuban kind of guy, Latino guy. It's like, no, Poppy, your appointment tomorrow. Your appointment tomorrow. You early. You too early. Come back tomorrow. Your appointment 6 a.m. tomorrow. Oh, man. Cadillac 395 said, question. If you take the load back, what happens? You would end up with nothing. Yeah. Yeah, but you got to understand the chances of you actually taking the load back is not as great. I've taken load backs to shippers, and like I've had, because it's basically a bluff. It's a way to negotiate, because you have the freight. Okay, you have leverage. Okay, you have the freight, and so you can pretty much name your price. And I've had brokers call me bluff, because it's essentially a bluff. It's business, man. You got to negotiate for what you want in life. Life, everything in life is negotiation. Everything in life. If you're a great people person, a great negotiator, like, you could pretty much get anything you want in life. You don't have to be the smartest person, but if you got good people skills and you know how to negotiate, you can pretty much get anything you want in life. Some of the dumbest people are so successful today just because they got good people skills and they know how to negotiate. And so I'm not saying I'm the greatest negotiator in the world, but what I'm saying is, to Cadillac 395, see what you're talking about, that is a fear. That question is in fear of, like, well, if you take the freight back, you get nothing. Okay. Because the thing is, the shipper, broker, and we all gonna lose if I take the freight back. We all gonna lose, because the broker don't want me to take the freight back, because their reputation is on the line. So the broker is gonna let me take the freight back because they don't want to give me a couple extra $100 on the load. That don't make sense. And so you got to know the whole, how this whole thing works. I've taken loads back, and I've had brokers call me bluff. I've had brokers call me bluff, and I just took the freight back, and I got back, and they took the freight off my truck. I've had that happen one time. And then, but most brokers won't. Most brokers won't. Most shippers, receivers won't. I had a Walmart load that delivered to Florida, and I took the load back. That load paid. Damn. I'm at this place. I'm at this place. I'm at this potato chip place. I'm at this potato chip place. It's a lady forklift driver, man. She tearing that forklift up. She getting it. But the thing is, like, I'm not hurting. Okay. The thing is, and see, a lot of times guys, they get in a state of fear. They're like, oh man, I can't afford to take that load back. Well, you should put yourself in the position to be able to take care of your business. All right. Because, you know, like, okay, if I take the load back, I burnt fuel to come down there, and I burnt fuel to go up. So it's business. It's just a tax write-off. I'm willing to take that hit. I'm willing to take that. If that broker would have called me a bluff, I'm taking that freight right on back. I would have thought about it. I would have been like, man, I don't want to take this freight back. But you have to do what you got to do. You have to do what you got to do. And in all the videos, I be talking about us being men and being on a mission and being strong. You can't be weak. Like, a lot of you guys got to stop being weak. Stop being weak. If you're going to take the freight back, you got to mean what you say. You got to do what you say and mean what you say. Don't be bullshitting. If you say you're going to take the freight back, take the freight back. That's it. Done. Because if you tell, and see, if more guys do that, if more independent guys do that, the industry will get a little bit better. Just a little bit better. Just a little bit better. But the brokers know that they have leverage. You can tell when you pick up the phone. You can tell when you pick up the phone, when you talk to a broker about a load. Like, it's like they treat us like dog shit, man. They don't respect us out here. You just a dumb old truck driver and all this. You know, it's just it's like they don't see us as a legitimate business person, you know? And the same reason why, like, Cadillac 395 asking that question, it's like, you shouldn't be asking that question. You should be saying, that's right, take the freight back, you know? And so that's how this whole, like, system works, man. Like, cause guys, they sit in a place of fear, and the whole in order for this thing to, like, keep going, you got to keep people in a state of fear. The government will fall apart if they don't have no leverage or control. Okay, you know, the gun ban, and, like, the whole reason that the Constitution is set up the way that it's set up is to keep people so people will have a little bit of power. If you take away guns from the average person, then that means the government can issue martial law and just go around shooting people and arresting people. But you can't do that. I own guns, so I'd be damned if the government gonna do, like, a mass takeover, dictatorship, and walk over people. And so, but see, the average person, the modern day person, doesn't. I forgot the ratio of people who carry guns and the people who don't. And so, if you look at that and you look at the Constitution, all the constitutional rights in the Constitution, that point is to keep the power in the people's hands, instead of letting the government, like in other countries, like in China, where people don't have power, where the people don't have power. Or, I don't want to say power, but I say leverage. Some sort of leverage, some kind of negotiating chip, or some kind of some sort. You know, it's just like when you have a job with your employer. If your employer knows you're a valuable employee, they won't treat you dirty. They won't treat you dirty. But if they see that you are a punk, they're going to walk all over you. They're not going to give you a raise. They're going to have you doing all this stuff. They're going to hold all this stuff, this fear over your head, trying to scare you that you're going to get fired. I'm like, fire me. I'm going to go get another job. And what else? I'm good. And so you have to live in that. It's the same thing when you dealing with a broker. So when you're dealing with a broker, and they got some goofy stuff going on the load, it's beyond what the agreement says and what the Raycon says and what the carrier agreement and the broker agreement, what it says, and they trying to make you do things out of scope with the load and stuff like that. Like, no, you take the freight back, because that's not what you agreed on. And you have that right to take the freight back, because that's not what you agreed on. You agreed to deliver the load from this time to this time, this place to this place at this time. The same way, if you deliver the load late, they have the right to not pay you, because you didn't fulfill the contract. They have a right not to pay you because you didn't do what you were supposed to do. It's the same thing. So if you run a load and the appointment time is not what you agreed on according to the rate confirmation, well, you have the right to take the freight back. Yes, it's a loss. That's business. And if you're not strong enough to handle that type of strength in business, well, you're not ready to come out here. It don't bother me. I got a fuel card. I got my Calm Data card is got $5,000 limit. I can buy as much fuel as I want. I got cash in the bank. I you know, it don't bother me. And that's the risk. We all gonna lose. We all gonna lose. They're gonna lose. I'm gonna lose. And if losing $200 in fuel is bothering you that bad, you don't need to be in this business then. You have to be able to afford to lose a little bit. Okay? You got to be able to afford to lose a little bit. If you treading water, if you treading on thin ice with your truck and you duct taping your truck together and you barely able to pay your bills, nah, dog, you don't no. Yes, the rates are low out here, but you can still make it. You can still make it, man. You can make it. You can still make it. Yeah, it's principle. Just living. Yeah, it's principle. They said a closed mouth don't get fed. Yeah. I mean, not even that, man. I try to bring $1,000 a day for my truck. So anytime a situation is anytime my $1,000 a day is on an attack, I go in a survival mode. So I do whatever I got to do to make sure I get my $1,000 a day. So if that means I got to take these people freight back, hey, take your freight back, give it to another carrier, and I can move on and do something else. I'm gonna take a loss. I'll make it up later. Okay, I'll make it up. I have to run some loads to make it up later, because we're talking about essentially two days of revenue and some fuel. I'll make it up later, you know, and and see that and see that's what's going on in America today. Corporations, we live in a fascist economy where you got corporations that are running every doggone thing. Corporations are running every doggone thing. And so as a people, we don't have no leverage, no control. We can't, like, most people are scared to speak up to their boss. Nobody, you know, I mean, is it wrong for speaking up for what is right? We just trying to do what's right. Insurance companies are walking over people. The medical industry is walking over people. The food industry is walking over people. All these companies out here are walking over people, and people are scared to speak up. Because why? Why? I mean, this ain't about, trucking. I mean, it's just, boss talk can't be weak. How can we demand price direct from the shipper? I'm tired of brokers. Yeah, it goes back, boss decisions. You need to download Zoom so we can have an interview. Preach. Have to make people pay for mistakes. Everyone has to share a loss, but they'll try to bully you. Yeah, man, that's right. And I mean, I talk to guys all the time about that kind of stuff. And the whole point of getting your own truck is to get your own truck. That's the whole point. The whole point to get your own authority and to get your own truck is to get your own truck. And if you define ownership and what that means, define ownership. Let me define ownership. Let me see. All right. The definition in Google says a person who owns something. All right. Let me see what the other definitions. A person who owns something, one who has the legal rightful title to something, one to whom property belongs, business property. Okay. I wanted to say an owner is somebody who has um, absolute control, and who has absolute control. You know, so that's kind of like that's kind of what my point is trying to force my point. But I mean, it happens sometimes, man, and like these companies out here, brokers, shippers, receivers, they always want to blame stuff on the driver. It just don't make no sense. It just makes me sick. They always trying to blame stuff on the driver when it was the forklift driver's fault who rammed that freight into the truck. It was the shipper or the receiver's fault for unloading the truck who touched the freight. As a truck driver, as a over the road truckload carrier, the average truck driver who's a over the road truckload carrier that picks up product by the truckload, not LTL freight, not parcel delivery packages like a UPS driver. We're talking about truckload freight, truckload quantities, okay, 53-foot trailers. The average truckload driver does not touch the freight at all, if ever, never. I never touch freight. Every blue moon, I might stand on the dock and supervise the loading, unloading, because some places require you to stand on the dock. Or you might have to put labels on the packages. You might stand there and put labels. They call that load assist. And they might just help put labels on the freight or something. Or you might have to put some straps on the freight. But other than that, truck drivers never touch the freight. And if you're a good driver, you're mindful what type of product that you're pulling, and you're not making turns all heavy, and you're not shifting your freight. You take your time and drive the load, and you drive the truck. Safely, so that it don't damage the product and make the product shifts. And if you're a good driver, you take care of that freight the best you can. But you pick up the load and deliver it, you deliver the load and something wrong with the freight. These places love to blame stuff on the driver. Everything is against us out here. The DOT against us, the shippers against us, the brokers against us, the receivers against us, the people who work at the warehouses against us. You coming in to pick up a load, they look at you crazy. They don't want you parking on your property. And it's like, God damn, like, you called me. You posted the load on the load board and you wanted me to come here and pick up your product. It's a trip, man. It's a trip. And so, I'll be damned, I'm gonna let a shipper, receiver, broker walk over me. I'm just not gonna have it. We've been through we truck drivers go through a lot of shit every fucking day to run this freight down the road, and like it's just annoying when these billion-dollar companies trying to jip a small carrier, a truck out of a couple $100, man. It don't make no sense. These companies making so much money on this freight. It don't make no sense. It don't make no sense. You know, I mean, because these loads out here, they paying $3-4 a mile. You know, they paying $3-4 a mile. And so a lot of guys be like, man, I'm going to get me a direct shipper. I'm going to get me a direct customer. You ain't big enough, man. You ain't big enough. Trucking is a competitive industry. Everybody got 4 trucks. Everybody got 5 trucks. Everybody got 10 trucks. It's a lot of guys got 20, 30 trucks. Okay? And so until you get, you got to have money to make moves like that. And I'm not saying you can't do it, But you can't come out here with one truck and talking about you're gonna get a direct shipper. Nah, you know, you can't go into Walmart, who's a $1 billion company, and talking about you gonna run their freight direct. Nah. First thing they're gonna ask you, okay, how how much is your company worth? What's your net worth? How much your company worth? How many trucks, trailers do you have? What's your carrier DOT rating? What's your CSA score? And once they start talking to you like that, you'll be like, yeah, get to work. It's gonna be a while. And so I'm just not getting to a point where I got my truck and trailer stabilized in a certain way. After 2 years, I'm thinking about buying a couple more trailers. I'm thinking about investing in a couple more trailers. I'm thinking about buying a couple trailers cash. If I can find two $10,000 trailers, I'll be good. And so I would buy two $10,000 trailers for cash, and that'll give me 3 trailers. Okay, with one truck, that's fine. But I can easily post an application online and have 1 or 2 guys that'll give me 3 trucks with 2 trailers, or 3 trailers, including the one that I'm pulling. That'll give me 3 trucks. And so that'll put me in a position to where I can negotiate with a warehouse. I can go directly to a warehouse and say, hey, okay, because a lot of warehouses, they require you to have at least 4 or 5 drop trailers on their property, minimum. They don't got time for that live load garbage. I mean, it's a couple small mom and pop shippers, warehouses out there. They don't mind, they don't mind, doing a live load, shipper direct situation. But most of these places out here, they're going to want you to have at least 4 or 5 to 10, maybe 10 drop trailers on their property. So that way you can keep a good amount of freight under you. So you get you about 3 or 4 trailers, you'll be good. And so then you can get them trailers, negotiate a rate for a direct shipper, drop them trailers on their yard. They can load them up. You come in, get the paperwork, and leave. And you can just service that customer. And so, I've been trying to figure out the logistics on that. Because, but see, the thing is, you got to have the money. Are you ready to drop 30 grand on equipment, 20, 30 grand on equipment? And you don't even know if you're going to get a good return on your money. And so, like last year, I was going to do that, but I ended up buying a rental property because I was looking at the numbers. I was like, if I go buy 2 trailers for $20,000, $25,000, 2 $12,000 trailers for about $20,000, $22,000. I got to be able to get my money back out this. And I'm just looking at rate of return. It's like, I can get a better rate of return just buying a rental property. I can get a 20% rate of return just buying a rental property. If I buy 2 trailers for $20,000, it's difficult to get the rate of return that I need because I can still run the freight. I can still run the freight myself. The only difference is adding 2 trailers and dropping them at a couple, dropping them, because I get emails from direct shippers all the time. Because once you've been in business after a while, I get emails from direct shippers all the time. And so, but I don't meet the minimum requirements. Most guys out here don't meet the minimum requirements. lot of the times it'll say right there, it's like, okay, you need a minimum of 5 trailers, you need $100,000 in the bank, you need this, you need that, you need a satisfactory carrier rating, you need all these, you got to meet all these requirements. And so I'm not saying you can't do it, but you got to look at the real stuff, the reality of actually, I'm kind of answering the guy's question in here, talking about getting a direct shipper, so you have to deal with brokers. You, as a small 1 truck, 2 truck, 3 truck carrier, you just, brokers provide a service. You're just gonna have to deal with them. That's just what it is. You think we're begging for change sometimes. Everett Madison say, I've had them take the load back if they even disrespect anyone in my company. Yeah, we got to do it, man. We got to do it. 8% of my freight is moved by companies with less than 5 trucks. Right. Right. But see, they don't want us to know that, Everett Madison. The average guy out here is so busy working. You get what I'm saying? The average guy here is so busy working. Most guys out here don't even have the time to read and don't have the time to keep up with their industry, to know the regulations and know the statistics and know the real hard facts and data that's in and around their industry. And so they just a rat in the rat. They just a rat in the rat race. A lot of guys they just don't know. And you got to take some time out. I say at least once a week to sit down and read up on your industry so you can better equip yourself with the information needed to grow. You need 1 day a week. I'm learning that myself, time management. Because I'll get caught up in running this truck. And then I was like, damn, I need to take a day. I need to take a day to sit back and just read some articles and read data and read regulations as an owner of a trucking business. That's just something you have to do. Just like an accountant or doctor or whoever you are, a business owner, you have to take that time out to because you got to take that time out to grow and get your brokerage. I've been talking to a lot of guys, and a lot of guys have been saying, yeah, get your broker authority. But I mean, I've been thinking about it. Because I've been looking into it. To get your broker authority is easy. Because I'm sitting here right now. It's like, so to get a $75,000 surety bond, because you got to get a $75,000 surety bond, and you got to get it's some kind of insurance that you need as a broker. It's I think it's errors and faults insurance or something like that. It's some kind of business insurance that you need. It's like errors and faults, but that's cheap. So for the surety bond, it's like $300 a month, $400 a month, and then for the errors and faults insurance, that's another $200 a month. It's pretty much a business general policy. It's cheap. A lot of it is cheap. And I'm like, that's all you need to become a broker? I mean, you'll be a broker, but then you got to go out there and get freight. You got to go out there and get freight. So I don't know how hard or how easy that is. Like on the broker side, to actually go out here and get freight. Then you got to post the freight on the load board. But yeah, just like Madison, what's his thing? Everett Madison say, 87% of the freight is moved by trucks less than because I think it's like 25% of the freight is moved by You know, the big mega carriers, you know, the JB Hunts, the Swifts. Only 25% of the freight. 25%. And so that's why when I was, you know, because everybody's scared that the autonomous trucks is gonna put guys out of business. I don't think so. When you hear numbers like 87% of the freight in America is moved by small carriers, small independent carriers, that means small independent carriers with 2 trucks, 3 trucks, 4 trucks. They're not going out there buying brand new trucks. They're the small independent carriers out here. They're going buying used trucks, or they're going buying glider kits and rebuilding motors and stuff. That's what small carriers is doing. They're saving that money. They're not going out there and buying $150,000 trucks. The small independent carriers going out there buying 20, 30, 40, $50,000 trucks and maintaining them. That's what small carriers are doing. And so, as long as Freightliner, Peterbilt is selling glider kits, as long as there's a junkyard in America and you got a toolbox and you can go to a junkyard and pull an old Peterbilt, an old 1995, an old 2000 Freightliner out of the bushes and bring it back to life, you know. And trucking is such a hands-on business. It's heavily regulated and it's such a hands-on business. I don't know about autonomous trucks. It's kind of built-in job security, you know. Like even Uber can't even keep up, because like Uber is trying to get into trucking. Companies like Convoy, Uber, and stuff like that, they're trying to get into trucking and like put in all this technology, but at the same time, the technology can only go so far, because trucking is such a hands-on business. You know, you need somebody to go into that shipper, pick up the load, sign for the paperwork. You got to drop the trailer, open the doors. It's the regulation around the equipment going down the road. You need somebody to pre-trip the truck, and you need somebody, a person responsible for that stuff. And the government is so slow at updating stuff, and I don't know. I don't know. Maybe for passenger vehicles, but you know, like with GPS isn't perfect. GPS isn't perfect. And so if you let it, say you got an autonomous truck in like New Jersey or New York, do y'all understand how that's gonna play out? It's gonna be a lot of trucks trying to go down the Holland Tunnel. Okay, a lot of autonomous trucks trying to go down the Lincoln Tunnel. Okay, a lot of trucks trying to go on the bottom of the GW Bridge, because in New York you got the top part of the GW Bridge and the bottom part. The bottom part is for passenger vehicles only. The top part is for trucks. Can you imagine an autonomous truck getting stuck on the bottom part of the GW Bridge? I mean, negotiating a complicated backing maneuver, negotiating a turn, trying to find a shipper who changed their address a week ago. I mean, it's like trucking needs a live person to negotiate the whole transaction. And like people who don't know about trucking, they think the only thing truck drivers do is just hold a steering wheel. Nah, it's more to trucking than that. Trucking is a business. And when you see a truck going down the road, that is a bona fide, legitimate business going down the road. Just like a Walmart, just like a corner store, liquor store. That's a business going down the road. Okay? It's difficult to outsource that automate that whole thing, you know, and I mean, I figure autonomous trucks gonna come one day, but I don't think anytime soon because it's just too much in trucking that's hands on, and we can't even get a lot of this basic stuff right. Lumpers. Why do we still pay for lumpers? Cisco. Can you imagine? You know, a truck delivering to a restaurant. You know, um, delivering to a warehouse. Go to these docks where the docks are so tight together. You need a person to negotiate that backing maneuver. But the point is that the more you equip with the proper information, it'll secure you, and it'll allow you to be a little bit more confident in your abilities. So that's the point I was trying to make with that. I didn't want to ramble on about the autonomous trucks, but the point is I'm confident enough that I'm like, nah, we're gonna be all right. You know, technology is probably just gonna help things get better. Like the electronic driver logs. I run my truck on my phone. You know what I mean? So technology has allowed, I can run a fleet of 5 trucks with my phone. It's amazing what the technology is out. It's gotten so abundant out here. Like you can run a full-fledged trucking company from your phone. You know. Um I don't know what this guy doing over here. He about to back into this guy truck. I'm looking at this guy over here. He about to back into this guy truck over here. If you have your own trucking business, brokers, yeah, yeah, I've been talking to guys. A lot of guys been talking about that. For with your trucking business and the real estate investor, did you make her sign prenuptial to protect your asset? No, I ain't signed on prenuptial. Um, I ain't signed on prenuptial thing. I'm gonna talk about that in a minute. If he didn't, she already owns half without going to court. Well, it depends on which state you live in. If you live in a common what they call it when a common law state or something, I forgot what it was. It's a state statute for each state had its own thing when you get married and your assets are shared across. But the thing is like the only people who care about prenuptial agreements are people who care about prenuptial agreements. Like, here's the deal. You marry somebody, right? You marry somebody. And if you worrying about your stuff, you don't need to get married then. And like me personally, I feel like I don't have enough shit to be worried about. Like if I'm a ball player, okay, I got 3 rental properties and I got a truck and trailer. So if I was to go through a divorce right now, I'm gonna be scared I'm gonna lose my truck and trailer and 3 rental properties. I'd be scared, but at the same time, I'm like, it ain't a bunch of anything to be scared of. It's like it ain't a bunch of it ain't much. It ain't to me it ain't much to be scared of. Now if I had millions, it ain't really nothing to talk about. You know, to me, a lot of that stuff can be settled outside of court and just sitting down having a conversation. Just sitting down having a conversation, saying, "Hey, look, when you came to a relationship, you had that stuff. When I came to a relationship, I had this stuff. Um, let's just go ahead and just wrap this up." That's the kind of dude I am. You know, um, but at the same time, I'm like, you ought to know, you ought to know who you marrying when you marry him. And like me personally, that's not just, I think about it, but I don't like lose sleep over it because it's not something, it's not a big deal to me, you know? Because I know my wife, if we was to get a divorce, like it's just like she don't care about real estate like that. She don't care about real estate. So she don't want it. She like, you can have it. Cause it's not it's not something like, because it ain't nothing that she wants. It's just like, to her, like if I got 10 rental properties, right, and we go through a divorce, to her that's just a lot of work. She just don't want to deal with it. She's like, oh, you can have that shit. And so you, you got to know the person that you marrying. And so it's just like, I know, like, okay, we go divorce. Say she try to take my truck, right? Like, she don't want no truck. Like, what's she gonna do with a fucking truck? Like, she don't know how to drive it. So if she take my truck and the truck's sitting at the yard, you know you gotta go. You have to go and get somebody to get the truck, right? The truck. If I don't pay the parking lot for the truck, well, the truck is gonna be towed away, and now, like, you gotta handle that. That's logistics. It ain't just cash money. You know what I mean? Like if you got $100,000 cash in the bank and you go have a divorce, yeah, she might get half because it's cash, right? You just, here, you get 50, I get 50. Get this done. But when you have like physical, tangible assets and you go through a divorce, that's work you got to do. You got to go to an attorney. You got to go to closing. Nobody don't want to deal with that. And so a lot of times stuff has a built-in, especially when you got a mortgage or you got liens on stuff, that's a built-in, it's like a built-in thing to, you know, it's kind of like what I was talking about, like if you get sued. A lot of guys talking about, oh, you need an LLC, da 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 da. No, you don't. Oh, you need this. No, you don't. You just need good insurance. That's what you need. You need insurance. You need insurance. That's what you need. And so the point is like, you guys be worrying about stuff that you have no business worrying about because you don't have nothing. You don't have nothing. I think I don't have nothing. I got a few assets, but to me, it ain't a lot. You know? Now, if you're a ball player and you got $1 million cash, you got a big ass house, you a target. You a target, dog. You a big ass target. You a target. But if you just a little small business owner, you might have $1 million net worth. You got about 10 rental properties. You got a couple of truck and trailers, and you know you make a little bit of money. To me, that ain't a lot to me. That ain't a lot to me. And so, and like I said, you have to know the person that you're marrying. And I mean, if you scared of marrying a person, maybe you don't need to be marrying them. That's what I say. I mean, William Parker said, this business will definitely consume your whole life if you let it, especially when you have your own authority. Yeah, it will. Oh yeah, errors and omissions. Yeah, that's that insurance I was talking about. Right. Yeah. T Hill, that's a good point. Lots of owner don't understand that it's a business first. I mean, when I got my authority, I knew what I was getting into. I knew that, okay, I looked myself in the mirror before I got my authority. It was a long, because when I was a company driver and when I was leased on, I was just tired of where my life was going, you know? I was just tired of where my life was going. And so I was just tired of where my life was going. So I was a company driver. I was making $65,000 a year, working Monday through Friday, driving local. I mean, with the stuff I was trying to, with the accomplishments I was trying to get in my life, I felt being a company driver, driving local, working Monday through Friday wasn't enough. And so I looked myself in the mirror and I was like, okay, I'm gonna go get my own truck and I'm gonna get my own authority. I'm gonna try to grow a fleet. And like, I knew that eventually it's gonna come to a point where I'm gonna be so fucking busy. But I looked myself in the mirror. I was like, okay, I'm gonna let that scare me out of an experience of a lifetime. I could just not do it and sit on the sideline and be scared to do it. Right? It's gonna consume my whole life. I want to go home. And so if I think about it and I look myself in the mirror and I'll be like, okay, what's the difference between working Monday through Friday and sitting home all day, being bored? Because essentially, that's what the regime wants you to do. You're doing... Who asked that question? Who asked that question? Yeah, preacher. And so essentially, that thought process is what the regime wants you to do. Be stagnant, bored, get caught up in bills, 50,000 baby mamas, 50,000 babies out of wedlock, getting a mortgage, paying car payments on depreciating assets, and all that dumb shit. They don't want you to grow a business. They don't want you to do that. They want the wealth. They want the wealth to stay at the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5%. They want Warren Buffett to hold all the wealth. They want Bill Gates to hold all the wealth. You could be sitting on $1 billion idea, but you don't know it because you ain't even try to fucking get up and try to figure it out. You might be sitting on $1 billion idea and don't even know it. I just felt like I got the potential to be great. I wanted to show the world I got some greatness in me. I wanted to show the world that I got some greatness on me. I wanted to put my stamp. I wanted to put my stamp on it. So it's a risk, man. And so, hey, trucking, hey, I just like, you know what? I ain't doing nothing else. Why not? Hey, man, I'm gonna go get my own truck and trailer, get my own authority, man. If I spend 150 hours a week running this truck, hey, so be it. I ain't doing nothing else. If I'm not in the truck, what I'm gonna be doing? I'm gonna go home, I'm gonna watch TV. I'm gonna go home, you're gonna go to the club. Think about all the bullshit stuff that we waste time on. If I'm gonna waste some fucking time, I'm gonna be wasting it running my truck, trying to build my truck. I'm gonna be looking at rental properties. I'm gonna be doing something else. I just go back the last 15, 20 years of all the shit I did in my life. This is the best thing I've ever done in my life, is when I got my own truck and trailer and bought and invested education in rental properties. It's the best thing I ever done in my life. I went to college. That was a waste of time. College ain't do nothing for me. It was a waste of time. The regime wants you to think that going to college will change your life. No, it won't. They don't teach you what you need to know in college, and so you spend all your time and money, student loan debt, and stress, And I'm just thinking when I was in school, man, I'm thinking like when I was in school, I'm thinking like all that stress I stressed over was for nothing. All that stress. All that stress was for nothing, man. Stressing over a grade on a test, stressing over uh, passing a grade, and stressing over writing this paper, stressing over getting up in the morning for school, stressing over this, that, and the third. I'm like, I did all that work stressing over for nothing, and none of that stuff helped me today. None of it. Yeah, I know how to read and write and write. I know how to read and write and articulate a little bit. Other than that, all the classes I took, math classes and calculus and all this dumb shit that you not gonna use. All you need is basic arithmetic and you will make it through life. They need to teach business 101 in school. That's what they need to teach. Negotiating, communication skills, basic, how to balance a checkbook, how to buy a car, how to change a tire. You got some of the smartest people on planet Earth, dumb as a rock, don't even know how to change a tire. Don't even know how to paint a wall. Don't even know how to cut grass. It don't make no sense. And so you got people out there that make $100,000 a year cutting grass because you got somebody that's got a PhD. Somebody who got a PhD to pay the guy who cut the grass. It don't make no sense. You know? It make no sense. But, you know, I can ramble on this stuff all day long, but y'all get what I'm saying, man. And so I know that this industry is going to take over my life. And that was the commitment that I decided when I looked myself in the mirror. I knew it, but I wasn't doing nothing else with my life. I wasn't doing nothing else. So I was just like, you know what? I'm not gonna let my life go to waste. I'm a commit to something. You know, I'm a commit to something, and I'm a commit to something, and this is, you know, this is what it's gonna be. If it's trucking, let it be trucking, man. I'm gonna work 150 hours a week trying to get it, and that's just what it is. I mean, guys, like I be talking to guys. Guys be scared to commit. Like, what are you saving yourself for? Like, I be talking to guys, they be like, man, I don't want to get no truck. Well, if you don't get a truck, what else you gonna do? Go do something with your life. Go get a real estate license. You know? Do something with your life. You gotta do something with your life. And so guys be acting like they saving themselves for like this great thing. Motherfucker, you watching the football game, you watching somebody else be great. You watching LeBron James with a $160 million contract. You watching other motherfuckers be great. Like, I don't understand. You sit on the sideline and watch other motherfuckers be great. That don't make sense. That don't make no sense, man. You know? Like, I like sports, but I don't, like, I talk to guys, they break their neck to go home to watch the game. Like, I don't understand that. That don't make no sense. That game don't help you pay your bills, man. I don't understand. It's entertainment. It's just entertainment. I grew up watching basketball, and basketball hasn't done nothing for me to this day. I got basketball cards, football cards. You know, I got some favorite people in the sports. I mean, like, you know. And so, like, guys is scared to commit. That's all it is. Bunch of pussies. And it goes back to what I was talking about in my earlier videos, talking about being a man. You know, that all it is. Because you got women running around. You got women running around the world looking for a good man. And see, what women are saying, is basically saying there are no real men out here. That's basically what they're saying. Because you have men out here are not men. Yeah, they got a dick between their legs, but they're not men. They're not masculine. Okay? They're not strong. They don't go after what they're called to do. They don't commit. I'm talking about on a deeper spiritual level. So I'm talking about a commitment. Okay, saying, okay, like if you meet a girl, right, and you want to marry her, commit. Just go ahead and commit. But guys don't want to commit. They want to have 3, 4, 5 different women. They don't want to get locked down. They don't want to do this and that and the third. The same thing applies when we talking about business. It's like guys want to hold themselves and be single their whole life. The same thing applies to, like, guys would rather stay at a job for 40 years making $10 an hour, $15 an hour, making shit money because they didn't want to step out and commit to something that's real that can really benefit them. Scared. Pussies. Bitch nigga shit. That's what I'm talking about. And that's what I'm talking about. When I look myself in the mirror, I had to check myself. It's like, am I being a bitch? Do I have commitment issues? And so I look myself in the mirror. I was like, Jonathan, you're being a real bitch right now. Go get you a truck and trailer. Go get your own authority. And get the shit done, man. That's why I married my wife. I look myself in the mirror like, what are you scared of? I look myself in the mirror, go marry that girl, man. And you got guys in here talking about, prenuptial agreement. Man, fuck that, man. That's pussy nigga shit. I've been married before. Do this shit again. Let's do it again. That's what life is about. You try it. You do it again. If it fails, do it again. I'll be on my third marriage. If this one don't work out, fuck it. Divorce her, I'll be on my third one. Do it again. I'll go after my fourth and my fifth. And like, the thing is, people are scared to people are so scared to fail, man. The regime has brainwashed people, men especially. Because men supposed to be the backbone of this whole thing. Men are supposed to be the go-getters. Men are supposed to be the ones that go up to the woman and be like, look, we got stuff to do. Get your ass up. Let's go. But it ain't no men out here trying to do that. You got men out here loving on a bullshit ass job, making $40,000, $50,000 a year, and you don't have no balls between your legs, man. Grow some fucking balls. Let that piece of shit $40,000 a year job and go after a $1 million situation, a 200, 400, 500,000 situation. Step out here and do it big, man. Do something big, man. Be scared to fail. It's like, it's all like foo-foo junk in guys' heads, scared to do stuff. And so I had to check myself, because it ain't about it getting authority. Like, guys scared. What are you holding? You. It's like some people don't get married, right? So you gonna be single for your whole life because you scared to commit, because you scared. So you're gonna be 60 years old. What are you holding yourself for? You're gonna die anyway. You're gonna die a lonely, broke person. You better get out here and try some shit. You better get out here and try and start a business or something. You better go out here and marry somebody. Okay, if that first marriage don't work out, divorce them, get another one. The second marriage don't work out, fuck them. Divorce them, get a third one. Third marriage don't work out, fuck them. Marry, get a fourth one. What are you scared of? You gonna die knowing that, you know what? I had 4 wives. None of them didn't work out. You dead though. Who gonna care? It's like, but at the same time, it's like, here's the deal. At the same time, you could not get married. You know? I mean, that's just, that it's deeper than just saying, you know, you just gotta find something. You just gotta find something and just commit to it, whatever it is. If it's trucking, hey, commit to it. It's trucking, man. Go get your trucking trailer and figure that shit out. You know, that's what it is. Who gonna slide the Thames? Oh yeah, y'all talking about all that other stuff. I was 25 when I realized I need to make at least I think he was trying to say $200K a year. I wish I knew that when I was 25. Because when I was 25, I think I was making like $30,000 a year or something. And I was happy with that. I don't know what broke loose. I don't know what broke loose in the last 5-6 years. You know? They do say that they don't want to get their own authority because they don't want to do the paperwork. I'm like, you rather lose $8,000 to $9,000 a month because of paperwork? That's what I said. But it ain't really that much paperwork, dog. Preacher, listen to me. Maybe back in the 90s, the early 2000s, it was a lot of paperwork because when you got your own authority, you have to file. Before electronic logs, you have to file your logs. Okay, you have to physically keep the log books and file them for 90 days. Your fuel receipts and all that, you have to physically file that stuff. But with all this technology, with Cam Scanner and Google Docs and Keep Trucking, I don't even look at my logs like that. I don't even look at my logs like that, man. Like, I don't even look at my logs. So when it comes to paperwork, let me tell you something. With 2 years, let me tell you, for somebody who got their own authority and been in business for 2 years, the only paperwork that really bothers me most time is my fuel receipts. These are my fuel receipts. And these are my fuel receipts for, I guess, the last month. And that's about it. Bill of ladings, you know, I do a load and I throw them away because with Cam Scanner and Google Docs, I take a picture of the bills and I upload them to my Google Docs account. You know, every blue moon I'll go through them and clear them out. But it ain't really much paperwork. I mean, you got to sign carrier package to get set up with a broker and every now and then. But I mean, it's not as much paperwork, a lot of guys. Because to tell you the truth, the paperwork is a benefit because you leave a paper trail. Because if something happens, you got a paper trail. But okay, what you did in December, if somebody come along and say, hey man, you did this and that in December. Well, you got paperwork to prove where you was and what you was doing in December, 6 months ago. You was like, nah, I was here. I went here to here. I did this and that. Here's the receipts. Here's the bill of lading of the load with the date and time on it. Here's my log books with the date and time on it. But I don't know. Maybe I gotten used to it. I don't know. Maybe I got used to it. But tell you the truth, man, it ain't as much paperwork as you think. It is, you know, um, and like now I'm to the point where I got everything streamlined. So I set everything up to where I do all my paperwork in December. I do my paperwork in December and January. After that, I'm good for the whole year. So my base plate, my IFTA stickers, my insurance, um, my driver files and all that stuff, I do it at the end of the year. So it's just a time management thing. So I don't be dib dabbing all over the place. That way I don't have to remember to do this. I have a checklist of things that I have to do. Okay, I have to update this, update insurance, have to update my driver files, have to do this, do that, do that. And once I get all that done, I move to the side and we focus on growing the business. You know what I'm saying? And so, and like my driver files, now if you keep track of your driver file, like in a physical, manual, paper file, that could be a little bit of paperwork, but it ain't much as you think. You know, you just take a picture of your license, get your physical done, and keep track of the trucks, the trucking equipment in your fleet, and you just keep a file on yourself. That's all. If you just got one truck, if you got a fleet, 3-4 trucks and what have you, like I use driver files, so it's all that stuff is like I said, I run my truck on my phone. Got job applications. Everything is digital, man. I got a job application on the internet. I can just send you a link, you apply, and that's it, man. And I can get MVRs. I can get MVRs and background checks just by clicking the button. Just by clicking the button. And it's not that much paperwork. 757 Trucking said Jeff Bezos got a divorce. His wife got half. His wife didn't get half. She got 25%. She didn't get half. But what you talking about is somebody who has a substantial net worth. You talking about a couple, they were a team. Jeff Bezos' wife, Miss Bezos, helped Jeff build Amazon. She did a lot of the phone calls. She attended a lot of the business meetings. I mean, of course she deserved half, if that's what you want to argue. So if you worth 100 billion, granted, I'll be mad to give away 50 billion to my wife in a divorce suit. However, she deserved it because half of it is hers. She worked equally with Bezos, and she half of it is hers. She did a lot of the phone calls. I think it goes down if you look up an article about Jeff Bezos and Miss Bezos and Mr. and Mrs. Bezos and how Amazon was built. Like, yeah, she deserved half. But for example, like if you got a little trucking company and your wife did not involve herself nowhere in the business, her name ain't on nothing. She didn't put up no money to assist you in the growth of that business. She didn't do nothing to help you grow that business. Okay? And you somehow or another was able to grow a $5 million trucking business, which isn't a big trucking business. But say you was able to grow a $5 million trucking business, paid for. The The drop lot paid for, the trucking equipment is paid for, everything paid for. You have a legitimate $1 million net business that's worth $5 million. And your wife, or potentially ex-wife, didn't involve herself nowhere in the business. She didn't help you get no business loan for the business. She didn't co-sign on nothing. She never negotiated. She never came to no business meetings and nothing. She didn't involve herself nowhere in the business, nowhere. And y'all go through a divorce. You think maybe she should get half? I think a reasonable person would say, okay, you know, she benefited from all of that. Okay, you know, you running this trucking business and you having this wealth, she benefited all of that. But me personally, I mean, I don't think she should get half. I think she should get something, but I don't think she should get half. You know? And I think a lot of it, tell you the truth, like I was saying before, it all depends on the person that you're marrying. You got to know the person that you're marrying. And so, I mean, to me, I'm not worried about that. I'm not scared about that. That's not something I lose sleep about. I ain't worried about having no prenuptial agreement. I'm not worried about me and my wife getting divorced and she taking half my shit, because I don't got nothing. I ain't got nothing for her to take. I mean, I'm just keeping it real. I mean, me personally. You know. Tell you the truth, she make more money than me on paper. She make more money than me. She's probably worth more money than me. I mean, me personally. That's how I feel about it. Yeah, I got a truck and trailer. Yeah, I got a couple rental properties, but those are physical, tangible assets. She, on paper, is worth more than me. On paper. So, you know, I mean, that's just how, that's just, you know, and like, see, a lot of guys, they talk about stuff they don't know what they talking about. And like, prenuptial agreement, like a lot of you guys that's watching my videos have no business worrying about a prenuptial agreement, because y'all don't have nothing. You don't have no money. Until you get to like couple $1 million net worth cash in the bank, you don't need to be having that conversation. Motherfucker, you a truck driver at JB Hunt making $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 a year. You a truck driver at UPS making $60,000, $70,000 a year. You work on the docks and you make $20 an hour. You make about $50,000 a year, and you about to marry a girl, and you talking about, man, I should get a prenuptial agreement. You got a little charge in the parking lot. Get out of here. You got an apartment. Get out of here. Get out of here. Prenuptial agreement. Prenuptial agreement is for wealthy people. People with a lot of wealth. I'm talking about a lot of it. Where their wealth, you got a lot of it, and you need an attorney to cipher through all that. You know, you got a book deal. You got music royalties. You got a trust fund and all this stuff. Then you need a prenuptial agreement. But you don't need no little prenuptial agreement. You got a little truck and trailer and a couple rental properties. Get out of here. Stop it. Y'all need to stop. Because there's nothing there to protect. You don't have nothing. Okay? You don't have nothing. Say you got a portfolio. Say you got a rental property portfolio. You got about 10 rental properties. Say you got 10 rental properties. You know somebody has to manage that, right? And I know my wife, she don't like stuff that's got a lot of work to it. Okay? So like if I got a portfolio of 10 rental properties and we go through divorce and say she get like half the rental properties, she don't want that. She don't want 10 rental properties. That's too much. That's tenants and complaints she got to deal with. She's like, nah, you can have that. That's too much. Give me the cash. You get what I'm saying? And and so that's it. That kind of speaks on with Jeff Bezos and stuff. And so like Jeff Bezos' wife, she probably just want the cash, man. She just want to get out. You know, she just want to get out. Like, man, just give me some cash and I'll get out of here, man. And that's typically a divorce suit right there. You don't need no attorney, no prenuptial agreement, all this stupid ass shit. You don't need to get married then. You worrying about your stuff. You up there worrying about your stuff. Y'all trip though. Y'all sitting up here with a little truck and trailer. After taxes, you know, you might net after expenses maybe 100K a year, something like that. If you had a good year, 80, 90, 100K a year, and you sitting up here worrying about a prenuptial agreement, that ain't no money, man. That ain't no money. Because you have to work for that. That ain't no steady check like a pension. That ain't no pension. That's not a royalty check. That's not copyrights to a song that you wrote. That ain't a business that you own that generates a steady flow of money, income without you being in it. No. You make 100K a year because you had to get up every day and work for it. You don't need a prenuptial agreement for that. Protect what? Your arm and your legs and be able to get up in the morning? But, you know, a lot of y'all get scared over stuff that don't need to be talked about. Right. And so the thing is, here's the deal with prenups. We live in a culture that's so worried about our stuff that prenuptial agreements have become a thing now. Prenuptial agreements didn't used to be a thing. You know, it didn't used to be such an important thing, but now Instagram, Facebook, TV, and everything else have these things, this stuff out here got people thinking about stuff. It's just like people talking about LLCs. Get an LLC. Well, the only reason LLCs are popular because the companies that sell the LLC packets make $1,000 on giving you an LLC. You really don't need an LLC to drive Uber. You drive Uber. You don't need no LLC. Stop it. You drive Uber and you make $500 a week driving Uber. You don't need no damn LLC. And so the same principle when I'm talking about when it comes to prenuptial agreement, just like all the crap out here, the regime try to sell you and make you think that you need it. How much does it cost to get a prenuptial agreement? I don't know because I never looked into it. But the point is, I'm sure the attorneys make a pile of money for typing up prenuptial agreements. You're worrying about stuff that you don't need to be worried about. Until you get a net worth, of a couple million or more, and you got children involved. You got children, and you got trusts, and you got legacy wealth that you want to protect and hand down, then I would think you want to get a prenuptial agreement. But if it's just stuff, I want to protect my car. I got a $100,000 BMW in the garage. So in the event of divorce, I want to get a prenuptial agreement in case my wife want to take my BMW. Get the fuck out of here. Stop, man. Stop. You better stop, man. Listen, if you meet a girl and y'all married for 20 years, 30 years, and she up and want to divorce you, she up and want to divorce you for some strange reason. She tired of the relationship. She helped you to be whoever you are right now. Give her something. Okay. $120. Oh, today Friday.
I'll be ready to go.
Okay. I don't have to go back to the office. Okay, y'all, we loaded. Damn. Can't get no attention. They stamped the time on here. These people not playing. They are not playing. Okay, y'all, we loaded. But typically the average person, typically the average person in America don't need no prenuptial agreement. So like me personally, if I'm married to somebody for 20 years plus, 15, 20 years plus, and they decide to get a divorce, she or he deserves something. Do they deserve half? I don't know about that, but it's worth having a conversation and sitting down and negotiating something, what they should receive out of divorce between them two. I don't think an attorney needs to be involved, but that's just me personally. I think two people, because it's a civil issue, it's civil, and you don't need to bring the public all in your business. And I hate when celebrities have made all this stuff such importance that it ain't, because these people got millions and billions of dollars on the table, and like it becomes front page news and stuff, and it just don't make no sense to me. Talking about a doggone prenuptial agreement. Y'all should sit down in private and talk about what you two are willing to give each other in the settlement. Now, if you guys are married for like a year, nah, bitch, you ain't getting shit. Nah. But if y'all been married for 10, 15, 20 plus years, man, and like all you guys that got wives and girlfriends that's helping y'all run y'all truck, see, 10, 15, 20 years from now, she deserves half your shit, because she deserves half the equity in that business. She deserved it. She deserved that. 25% or something. 25, 30%. At least. But, and to me, like, I don't see nothing wrong with that. And like guys don't understand, guys don't understand when you set yourself up with this kind of distrust in the relationship off the rip, you already setting yourself up to fail by talking about a prenuptial agreement. If you go to your wife or a fiance and say, okay, babe, I love you, babe, but can you sign this prenuptial agreement? She ought to leave your ass. She ought to just leave your ass. Straight up. Because right off the rip, you already telling her you don't trust her. You already telling her you don't love her that much. You love your stuff more than you love her. And you're not ready to commit. So all you guys talking about prenuptial agreements. Well, you can go get a prenuptial agreement, but she don't have to sign it. She don't have to sign that shit. How would you feel if somebody was to make you sign a prenuptial agreement? They don't trust you. How would you feel? I mean, this thing go both ways. All y'all talking about getting a prenuptial agreement. Motherfucker, you work at T-Mobile. You work at T-Mobile. Hello? This T-Mobile. How can I help you? Shut up, man. You don't got nothing. You got a little charger outside. You got a little apartment, or you might have a little condo, a little house, or whatever. What are you talking about? You need no damn prenuptial agreement. You ain't no trust fund, baby. Now, if you're a trust fund, now if your parents left you a trust and it's got millions of dollars in it, and you meet a girl and like she don't have a trust and she's not wealthy like you are, yeah, you need a prenuptial agreement to protect that trust. Yeah, you need that. You know, if you get royalties or something from a piece of work that you done, or you know what I mean? Like, yeah, you need to protect that. But if you're just a regular working dude and you meet a girl and y'all both work together and build an empire together, yes, she deserves half. There's nothing wrong with that. She deserves half. A prenuptial agreement ain't gonna help you anyway, because if you live in a state where what is it, common, I forgot what the laws is. Depending on your state, it really don't matter. Prenuptial agreement ain't gonna help you. Y'all need to stop this with this prenuptial agreement. Better late than never. Y'all got me rambling on. But I mean, you know, prenups, you know, prenups, they have a place. They have a place in society. And I think prenups have been growing popularity over the last maybe 15, 20 years just by, you know, the media. Everybody's business is in the media. People don't know how to just keep certain things private. And like me, personally, just certain things just need to be private. If we going through a divorce, it ain't none of your fucking business, man. It ain't your business. Like, folk don't know how to just keep stuff private. And so when a guy is going through a divorce with a woman, or a woman is going to divorce with a guy, it's all over news. Oh, you should have got a prenup. Oh, you should have done that. No, you don't need no prenup, man. No goddamn prenup. Get the hell out of here. If somebody put in equals amounts of effort into your wealth, they deserve some of that. That's just common sense. To me, that's being fair. That's only fair. You know, Jeff Bezos grew $1 billion company. He didn't do it by himself. His wife was there the whole time. She attended all the meetings and stuff. She answered phone calls. She hired people, helped manage. She helped manage the company with them and all that. Yeah, she deserves some of that. That ain't bad. Hell, if you got 50 billion, motherfucker, you can side with like 10 or 15 billion, nigga. Like, you still got 35 billion, nigga. Like, you still got 35 billion. Like, give your ex-wife 10, 15 billion. Damn. Selfish? Motherfuckers is selfish, man. Damn. Like, you can't side with about 10 billion? 10 billion? Like, look, if you worth 50 billion, like, you can give your ex-wife 10 or 15 billion. Like, you got all these vacation homes. You got about 10, 20 vacation homes. Give her 3 or 4 vacation homes and give her a couple Benzes. You got 10, 20 Benzes in the yard, in the garage. Give her 5 Benzes. Give that BMW. Give her 2 of them BMWs and that Mercedes Benz 600 over there. You never get that. You know. Oh yeah, I'm reading these. You have a 1,200 a month payment makes running your business easy. Oh yeah, man, that's 1,200. Um, 1,200. C. John said, "I'm against marriage myself, and knowing how things have gone for men in the courts, also that the whole idea of marriage, a marriage license, is strange to me. When did marriage become illegal?" I mean, everybody's got their own opinion. I mean, everybody's got their own opinion. But to me personally, I think getting married is a spiritual move. It's spiritual. Okay? A woman is never ever gonna take you serious until you put a ring on her finger. Most women. Most women are never gonna take you serious. A good woman is never gonna take you serious until you put a ring on her finger. There's some women out there, they'll roll with you. Yeah, they'll roll with you. But it's always gonna be like, that little bit of her spirit just ain't gonna really, just really put her life on the line for you. You know, she ain't gonna jump in front of a bus for you. It's still that little bit, just a little bit. You put a ring on her finger, oh, she down with you 100%. You know what I'm saying? It's a spiritual move. You know? Um, I mean, it just depends on what you're looking for out of life. I mean, me personally, you know, I know it's my duty to marry a black woman. That's just as a man in America. As a black man in America, it's my duty to marry a black woman. That's my duty. I have to do that. I don't know. I don't know where it comes from. I really can't explain it. I just feel like as a black man in America, I have to marry a black woman. That's it. That's just it, you know? And so I'm not just saying going out there just marry any old black woman. I'm just saying you have to take your time and weed out a whole lot of frogs, a whole lot of frogs, and find you a good woman and marry her, man. And that's just what it is. And you know, and so when I hear guys, when I'm reading through these comments and I talk to guys, to my old women, I ain't marrying nobody. You just ain't found the right one yet. That's all. You ain't kissed enough frogs yet. You got to kiss a lot of frogs to find a good one. You know what I'm saying? And so, you know, um, you know, I don't think you should go out there and run out there and rush and marry somebody, but I think you take your time. You take your time and find somebody. Um, You have to put them through a couple tests and make sure, you know, everything's good. But once you do that, yeah, man, I think you find one. But I think with the news and the media and you know, all this stuff going on out here, like a lot of backstabbing going on out here, like it's hard for people to trust people. That's all. You know, y'all got me and my wife over here having a heating debate about prenups. That's good, man. Because, you know, a lot of couples, see, that speaks on y'all relationship. Carl Glickreis, that speaks on the strength of y'all relationship. If y'all comfortable enough to have that kind of conversation and still love each other when the conversation is done, that means y'all have a good, strong relationship. A lot of people have relationships like that, and they're not even comfortable having them real kind of conversations and just letting it be a conversation and just letting it go, you know. Yeah, that's what I said. Prenups are not worth the paper they print on. That's what I said. It's just like when people talk about having an LLC. People talk about having an LLC, right? What's the point of having an LLC if you don't even know how to use it? Okay, you go on a secretary website, you create this LLC, your little 2-page LLC. It's an LLC right here, 2 pages. You get 2-page LLC. The first page is going to be the state seal. It's going to have your company name. It's going to have some basic wording, you know, state statute, blah, blah, blah. And then the next page is going to have your name, your owner, the address, and all that. There go your LLC. Done. But if you don't know how to use it, then what's the point of having it? It's the same thing with a prenup. Now, I don't know everything about prenups, but I'm sure it's about the same way. You have to file it. You have to follow the rules of it. It's got all these terms and conditions. And, you know, you go to court, you throw it. That's junk will get thrown out of court. You know, get thrown out of court. Be careful kissing all those frogs looking for the right one. You could get warts. Oh, man. My thing is, if you had to get a prenup, you probably shouldn't be getting married. That's what I said. That's what I said way back in the video. Because that's a spiritual, it's in a spiritual context, on a spiritual level, if you so worried about your stuff, you don't need to be getting married. You don't love her enough. You don't love that person enough. Him or her, if women are watching me, you don't love that person enough to side with your stuff. And see, it's a spiritual move. You have to do it because it speaks on your ability to commit and follow through. Okay. When I was talking about earlier in this video, I was talking about my follow through because I know my follow through in my life has been garbage. My follow through in my life has been trash, and I'm trying to work on my follow through. And so, just like when I told myself, okay, I'm committing to this trucking business. So I got my truck and trailer. I'm committed to it. I put my name on the line. I got debt. I got a loan out on the trailer, and I put my name out on the line. I put my credit on the line. I put my money on the table. I committed to this thing. I can't stop. It would cost me more money to stop this trucking business. Okay? When I decided to go get some rental properties, I decided to step out there and say, you know what? I'm going to stop being scared and step out here and buy some rental properties. It ain't no going back, man. You committed to it. And my wife, when I decided to look myself in the mirror and be like, you know what? I need to go ahead and commit to this thing and marry this girl. And so it's a spiritual move on men being able to commit and follow through. Do what you say and mean what you say. And that's just what it is. And like a lot of guys, they don't want to be tied down. And see, that thinking mindset is telling, like, if any of you women are watching this right now, let me explain to you. If you dating a guy and he telling you he don't want to get married, he don't want to get tied down, leave him. Don't date him no more. He ain't ready. Don't date him no more. Don't answer his phone calls no more. He wasting your time. It's deep, man. This is some deep stuff. He wasting your time. Because this dude is going to waste your time. You're going to date this guy for 5 years. He ain't going to never be ready. He ain't going to never be ready. A guy like that going to be 60, 70 years old alone. He going to have all these pimp stories. He going to have all these pimp stories talking about, man, I had all these women back in the day. Yeah, but you old and lonely. Because you never committed. You never committed to nobody. You can't expect a woman to do all this stuff for you and you won't commit. You treat all these women like shit out here. And you want that woman to commit to you, stand by you? Really? You on your deathbed in the hospital and you want her to come to your deathbed? You cheated on her with all these women out here. You want her to come to your deathbed. She ought to come to your deathbed and spit on you. That's what she need to do. And see, that's what I'm talking about. I can go on all day. And it's like, guys, I can go on all day. You think Martin Luther King would have been Martin Luther King without Loretta? What's wrong with y'all, man? As black men in America, as men, because I don't want to single out all my other races, because I know I have a lot of people watching me. But as men in America, you have to find a woman and commit and marry her. Stop being a pussy. What the other dude in here? He said he don't like the fact, he don't like the idea of getting married. Man, look, dude, you need to marry somebody. I'm not saying go marry somebody today, but your mindset, you have commitment issues. You're scared. Okay? You're scared about something you never tried before. Okay? Okay, so here's the question. Why don't you want to get married? And I'm not trying to change your mind, but I'm always interested in other, I'm interested in other folks' opinion because it's always like skewed and flawed by some kind of weird way of thinking. For example, we like to rationalize stupidity. As people on this planet, we like to rationalize stupidity. Something that's real stupid, we'll come up with this great idea to make it sound good and make ourselves feel better. Well, I don't want to get married because the state of America. Like, what? The state of America? What that got to do with anything? That don't make no sense. Well, I went and got student loan debt because it's like, really, I'm staying at this broke job. I'm staying at this job making $30,000 a year when I can go make $60,000 or $70,000 a year because I like the people. You staying at a job because you like the people? You can go get another job and meet some better people. Like that, it's like we like to rationalize stupid shit. I don't like the deadhead because I don't want a deadhead. Like, come here, dog. Let me show you how to use this calculator. I know you don't know how to use it, but I'm gonna teach you how to use it. Okay, this load right here pays $1,000. If you deadhead to this load, that makes you $300 more. You would net $250 more. But you don't want a deadhead. I mean, this stupid shit we be rationalizing. So marriage ain't no different. Marriage ain't no different. So I'm kind of curious on why guys don't want to get married, or what's their rationale on why they don't want to get married. Well, it's a girl I dated back in high school. She cheated on me. You need to work on better choosing who you associate with, or you need to work on your dating, who you be dating. Okay, who you spend your time with. If you attract crap people, then it's you. You the common denominator. You get what I'm saying? Don't be attracting crap people in your life. If you attract liars, cheaters, backstabbers, I can go on and on. Well, you need to pay attention to who you be attracting in your life. You get what I'm saying? I'm tripping. Man, I'm just making content for my channel, man. I owe y'all. I'm trying to make up for all this lost content. I know I ain't gonna change y'all mind. Y'all grown people in here, but I'm just saying. Caprice Boney. Yeah, I think everybody should be married. Yes, I believe that. America would be a better place if everybody did that. I mean, I don't want to say everybody, but I mean, for the most part, like I would say, as a majority, because not everybody's going to get married. But I think the world would be a better place if everybody did that, because you would have the function of American families will be in a better place. Okay? You won't have all this dysfunction out here, crazy people running around with issues. You got people running around here with daddy issues, father issues, mama issues, cousin issues, brother issues, because they lacking in some area. Okay? You got people that's lacking in certain areas. And I didn't grow up in no perfect household, but this is me learning about the world. As a 38-year-old man, as a 38-year-old man, and had learned some stuff about the world and how the world works, and I'm like, wow. The reason why you got mass shootings is because some guy, some kid out there, he got bullied when he was a boy, and his father was never around, or he ain't had no father. But the success rate among married couples are some of the highest in the world. Okay? Married couples are more successful financially. They're more successful mentally. I mean, I can go on and on. The success rate is 1,000% better amongst married couples. People who are single, they got issues. They're financially struggling. Because you need that companionship. You need somebody who that's down for you. You need that team spirit. Whatever your last name is, Team Brown family, Team Smith family, you need that camaraderie. You need that family. You need that blood, that sweat. You need somebody that's gonna be down for you. Okay? Okay? And so that's why I say, yes, everybody needs to be married. Yes. Okay? Because you got people running around shooting up people, mad, stressed out, because they ain't married. They're not happy. Okay? This stuff is deep, man. Like, it ain't about, like, everybody's so fucking selfish, you know? Worrying about themselves and, oh, I'm about myself. I'm going to date myself. I'm going to take myself on a date. That's the dumbest. Boy, some people just don't know how dumb they are. They just sick. That's sickness. It's mental sickness. You got to be married, okay? Commit. I mean, I can go down the list. You have commitment issues. You selfish. Da. Yes, go get married. It ain't about being married and all the other stuff about being married. It's the spiritual connection that you have with following through, being a man, committing, growing a functional family. You know? But anyway, I'm gonna get off here. We got 2 hours on here. You know, we got 2 hours on here. I've been rambling, running my mouth. Doing good. You know? Got 2 hours on here. It's Friday. I know a lot of y'all headed to the house and stuff like that, so they give you something to listen to. But hey, I appreciate y'all watching my videos, man. I'll see y'all next time.